broadcast. But before we continue, let me quickly apologize for abruptly ending the previous video that we started this morning. We did not change the title of this broadcast, and so we had to quickly stop um, the previous broadcast so that we can quickly change the title to the appropriate title for this broadcast. Now, what is the title for this broadcast? We are trying to respond to the issues that are, cropping up across the country with regards to the forthcoming general election. Um, and so we are concerned, because we are citizens. We operate from the office of the citizen of Nigeria, and we are concerned about recent developments because we have been arguing and angling for Nigerians abroad to be able to be given the power and the privilege to vote, in elections in Nigeria. But that has not been able to be achieved. And we want that because Nigeria is a country, is a big country with a lot of resources, whether it's human and technological resources. And so we believe that Nigeria have the capacity to orchestrate a process whereby our citizens across the globe will be able to be given the privilege and the power to vote in an election to determine who their political leaders should be, who their representatives should be in government. Now, that has not been achieved. Several years that this issue has been on the table, on the front burner, and so we begin to be more concerned when political activists, political actors, in the guise of political party candidates, in the guise of you know um, political party agents or political party operatives, you know, doing the opposite of helping or creating an environment where Nigerians abroad can be empowered to vote. And so this morning we want to show you a video. I want to show you a video of what is happening or what just happened recently, and how that is not sitting well. How that is not sitting well for us as a nation, as a people. Especially as we move or march towards this coming election. And so just watch this video with me, and I will come back uh, to share my take on some of those issues that we are going to see, that are emanating from the video. Watch this video.
Welcome back to Newsday. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, men of the Nigerian Immigration Service in Kaduna State have arrested at least 500 illegal immigrants in Zaria local government area of the state. The men of the service have been on what they described as a special operation since the beginning of the year, and the arrest was made after they received actionable intelligence reports. Controller of the service, Sliman Killa, who paraded the immigrants on Wednesday, said at least 65%.
Now, I'm excited with that aspect of that news report, okay, that they received actionable intelligence. Actionable intelligence. Now, what we have been suffering as a people, as a nation, is a situation whereby things just happen, and our security operatives, our security officers, don't have actionable intelligence. Or maybe even a situation that they have actionable intelligence, the intelligence will not be acted upon. And so now, this is one good news coming out from this report. One good news coming out from this report. But let us
of them
continue
are from
to.
Niger Republic, Chad, and other neighboring ECOWAS countries. Despite not being Nigerian citizens, national identification number slips and permanent voter cards were recovered from.
So here is another major issue now. Now, this is not good news. It's not good news. These are not Nigerian citizens. We're going to come to the reason why we are showing you this video, but we're trying to pick out some of the key points, from this news report. These persons, these over 500 persons, are not Nigerian citizens. But unfortunately, they have access to certain documentations, to certain identifications that even most Nigerian citizens don't have. Now, that tells you that this mass of people didn't just, enter into Nigeria without a, a network, without a cartel being responsible for that coming. Now, we have seen these immigration challenges, in some developed countries, like in Europe and America, where people even, uh, you know, take the most daring risk, to travel to those countries, to seek asylum, or to seek, uh, you know, greener pastures. But we are having it in our own backyard. And we have also seen how government in other countries, in other climes, respond to critical issues of immigration challenges, like this, immigrant challenges like this. Now, the most unfortunate part is that we're not even trying to prevent these people from gaining entrance into the country, uh, uh, unprocessed, unduly. But we don't even have a way of stopping them from having access to our most national documents and identifications. In other climes, you can't have access to this kind of documents when you have not been processed as an immigrant. But here we are in Nigeria. These people have access to national identification numbers that most Nigerians don't have, and the most prized, documentation and identification of a citizen, the most prized, the most prized, the most precious identification that we have in Nigeria, which is the PVC. The PVC is the most prized identification that we have in this country. And these people that are not our citizens, already have this identification. So, which makes me to wonder, how did the immigration service come to even identify them as immigrants? Because I'm beginning to wonder, what makes a Nigeria, if not for these documents, if not for you having national identification number, if not for you having international passport, or if not for you having a PVC, what makes you a Nigerian? And so there is much more that needs to be discussed. But let's continue to watch the video.
According to the record available to me, 516. The last arrest was over 1,000, but this one is 516 non-Nigerians illegally staying within the Zaria metropolis. We are moving to the...
Hold on. Let me share something with you. Do you know that the 2019 Sokoto governorship election was won by just 342 votes? 342 votes was what gave the winner of that 2019 governorship election in Sokoto State, the victory for that election. And here we are, the comptroller of Nigerian Immigration Services, Liman Killer, is telling us that they have arrested 516 or over 500 immigrants with PVCs. And that prior to this very arrest, they had arrested over 1,000 immigrants, possibly with PVCs. What does that tell you? You can see the connection. You can see the connection. Okay, but let's continue.
All in an effort to make sure that non-Nigerians did not participate in the electoral process. Most of them are from Niger. The greater number are from Niger, carrying like 65% of.
Now, I think that is enough. We have had enough from the immigration service. But the critical question that I want to ask, I want to bring forward in this broadcast. Yes, the Controller General of Immigration is telling us that all this that they are doing is an effort to ensure that non-Nigerians does not participate in the forthcoming general election. And so can we therefore assume as well that part of the actionable intelligence that they have is that there is a grand plan, a grand design by politicians to import non-Nigerians from the Niger Republic, from Cameroon, from wherever to participate in this election? Is it possible that, political actors in the political parties, political operatives are, as part of that strategy, importing non-Nigerians to come and vote in our election? Now, why I understand and I appreciate the position of the Controller General of Immigrations, I have pertinent questions. What happened to the previously arrested 1,000 immigrants? I don't think we have had anything, that was done to them. Well, have they been deported? What is the government doing about stopping this practice? Now, like we said before, this is an organized crime against the Electoral Act. It's an organized crime against the Nigerian state. And it's an organized crime against the citizens of Nigeria, the true citizens of Nigeria. And so if these crimes have been committed, because we can tell you for free that these people didn't just appear in Nigeria and have PVCs and national identification numbers. They did not just come and have primary voters card. They were mobilized, they were coordinated, they were delivered. And what can we say is our security agencies doing in terms of uncovering the people that are behind this organized crime? Have they been able to put a face or put faces to the people responsible for delivering these immigrants to Nigeria to prepare them and prep them up for voting? This is a case that we must follow up, and this is very important because it's a crime against the citizens of Nigeria, it's a crime against the Electoral Act, and it's a crime against the Nigerian state. And we are calling on all the relevant authorities to do more than they have done. Do more in coming to, do the media razzmatazz. Do more in coming to, curry the favor of the Nigerian people by showcasing people that you arrested without, going deeper. It's just like we continue to, how do we put it down? To treat the symptoms without really identifying the sickness and, treating the disease. We're just doing some form of cosmetics here. Why do we always like cosmetics in dealing with serious problems in this country? I wish that the immigration officer, the Controller General of Immigrations, and the IG of Police were the one that was briefing the Nigerian people. And why the customs, the immigration officer is telling us about how they have arrested these people and how they have profiled them, the IG of Police should be telling us, the people and the connections with the political parties that were behind the delivery of these immigrants to commit this crime against the Nigerian state. And so we want to ask that the immigration, Nigerian Immigration Service should, as a matter of urgency, begin to collaborate with the Nigerian police and the DSS and other relevant security agencies to identify the people behind, this mass importation of immigrants to participate in the electoral process in Nigeria, because this is the greatest offense that you can do to any country. If you will recall, this is one of the problem that the United States is having with Russia. Interference in a country's electoral process is a a dastardly act. It is an act against the soul and the credibility of that country. When you interfere in the electoral process, in the political process of a country, you are an enemy. And so the IG of police, the immigration service, the Directorate of State Security Services should, as a matter of urgency, as a matter of fact, begin to process, the information, begin to investigate, the information that they have received to find out those behind this kind of a dastardly act, so that they could begin to provide a basis, for punishment, and a basis for you know uh, ensuring that this kind of behavior, this kind of act, is not committed against the Nigerian state anymore. Because a country where there is no punishment for offenders risk, even having their good people becoming criminals. Because when you continue to be a good citizen, and you see, citizens that are, carrying out criminal activities and criminal acts and going scot-free, you'll be tempted to join the bandwagon. And that is not the kind of country that we are looking for. And therefore, we appeal to all the relevant agencies of government to please come and do the needful. Arrest the people involved in the importation of these immigrants, because this goes down to the crisis that we're having, even the security sector. You recall the 2015 general election, and the 2019 general election, the role of and even the previous elections that we've had in the country, the role of immigrants, the role of thugs in creating chaos across the country after each elections. These are the kinds of people that they use to create this kind of insecurity in our country, because these people don't have any stake in Nigeria. They don't have any stake in Nigeria. And so by the time they finish the election, and the people that invited them or that delivered them to come and participate in this election did not win the election, or did not have, the result that they were looking for, they might not settle them, or take them back to where they brought them from. And so they will unleash these people into the society, and before you know what is happening, they form themselves into different groupings and begin to commit different atrocities, and begin to give themselves different names, whether it's Boko Haram, whether it's Itwad, whatever names that they give themselves. These are the pipeline that generates the insecurity that we are facing in Nigeria. And so let us nip it in the bud before it is too late. Thank you very much for joining this broadcast